Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto was appointed 6th Hokage after Nagato was defeated. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the rest of what ifs coming your way over on Anime King and over on Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yes, what do you say we begin this new episode start? The intro. So, the last time we left off, Naruto was teaching Jiraiya's son and Hinata how to perform the Rasengan. As they managed to gain the first step, they made their way to the island as Naruto learned more about Killer Bee. As a giant squid tried to attack the ship, as Killer Bee arrived and knocked the squid away in his ATL form, as Yamato was amazed, as he realized this man could indeed help Naruto with his Biju control. Yes, he would be a big help. Meanwhile that was going on, Danzo was currently being guarded by a foe, a female Root Envoy member named Sen, and Torun, as Sasuke came to attack. The female Root Envoy member, she was able to produce papers like Conan. That was rather surprising as she went off to take on Jugo and the others. A furious battle happened between them, as Karin felt Sasuke chakra get darker and darker. Many things happened in that battle, as Karin was able to realize that Sasuke was going to end up killing her with the way he was doing things, as she was hurt several times because of him, and he did not care. He only called her when he wanted to refuel, and he bit into her. It made her realize that she was going to die, and she was now afraid of Sasuke. As Danzo somehow got one of the Pat's Rinnegan, and he was able to use a summoning jutsu, as Danzo was able to hold back against Sasuke, for them to find the right time to leave. Sasuke was furious as he told Karin to track them, but an explosion went off from Sen dropping paper bombs. As they got separated, Karin chose an opportunity to hide. Yes, she hid herself away, making sure that Sasuke wouldn't be able to find her. But Danzo ended up leaving though, a reverse summon with his giant Baku, and they poofed away. Sasuke sent Suigetsu to go and find Karin, as he found her, but she said that she wasn't coming back, as she didn't want to be a part of the group anymore. Suigetsu, seeing that something was wrong, yet he played it off arrogantly and told her that they never needed her in the first place, as he told her to take care of herself, and with that they separated. He returned and told Sasuke that she got killed in the attack. Her body was probably decimated, as there was also Black Zetsu who couldn't track her anywhere. Sasuke thought that if she was weak enough to die, maybe he didn't need her in the first place. With that he simply walked away, as the group made their way off. Danzo had fled and they hadn't got the opportunity to kill him. Sasuke was even more furious. Tsunade also woke up, as Kakashi told her about her son. She looked down distraught as she knew of him, of course, as she had visited him. He never got to meet Jiraiya because of the damn Toad prophecy. She had done many wrong things in her life, and at least she could try and make up for those wrong things. Meanwhile, Naruto tried to get Killer Bee to train him, but the man did not want to train him, saying that he lacked something. So he was brought towards a waterfall of truth by Killer Bee's friend. As Naruto sat down, he heard voices. As he saw someone walking towards him, it was him. A darker version of him anyway. So yeah guys, so basically let's play left off. You guys can switch across playstation for yourself. So this will begin this new episode. Naruto couldn't believe as he looked at his darker half. They were dressed the same way with Hokage robes, except darker Naruto had black eyes. Up until now, we were treated like outcasts, Dark Naruto said that smirk. You're the real me, said Naruto. Exactly. I am the you that you kept deep in your heart. What the hell are you talking about? I don't know you. Stop talking nonsense, said Naruto. They call this place the Falls of Truth, don't they? As Dark Naruto looked around. To think that this place could bring me to the surface. As his smirk increased even more. Basically, I'm the truth inside of you. The real you that you hold back. The hatred. I am your darkness. As Naruto looked on in shock. If I made one mistake, is that I let myself get recklessly catch by the eye of the Kyubi. As Naruto remember, Naruto words. The Kyubi is a mass of hatred. No matter how hard you try to fight it, it will join with the hatred inside of you and bring it to the surface. As Naruto realized all this time, his darker half have been working with the Kyubi, trying to break it free. As Naruto's body underwent a change as he entered Sage mode. That's right, I'm the real you, and you can't get rid of me, said Dark Naruto, as he also entered Sage mode. As the both of them move, their fists connected together. Before they separated, they slip into the frog fighting style. They clash once more. Shockwaves send out all across the entire pool. Their blows were equal. As the both of them create a Rasengan and drive it into each other. The two Rasengans collide and exploded the both of them backwards. He knows my every move, said Naruto, before he charged forward once again. As the two collided once again. Before they separated and created 3 clones. As Naruto formed the Rasengan Shuriken, Dark Naruto do the same as he threw it. The explosion sent the both of them sailing away. The both of them panted before they brought up their arms and created 300 clones, each of the clones in Sage mode. As the two armies charged, Naruto's eyes then snapped open as he fell back. He realized that he was back over the falls. Motoi and Yamato were behind him. Naruto said Yamato as he leaped onto the edge as well. What happened? I was fighting myself. Well, a dark version of myself. I couldn't beat him. He knew every single one of my moves. The battle wouldn't end. We were perfectly even. If you don't beat him, you won't be able to use the Fox power. Damn it. How am I supposed to beat someone like me? Your guess is as good as mine, Motoi said, as he rubbed the back of his head. Wait, B-san, train here as well, said Naruto. No. Judging from his attitude, he would probably turn me down again. Probably not, said Motoi, as Naruto frowned. As Naruto wondered if Killer B had darkness inside him as well. Motoi-san, can you tell me the story about Killer B? Like how he grew up or something about his character. Maybe I can find some kind of hint, so I can find out how he and I are different. Motoi took a seat, as he looked at Naruto as Yamato. Watch as well. As the both of them waited for the story. As you are a Jinjuliki as well, you can probably guess how his life started out. As Motoi then start to go into what B has went through. The two of them sat there as they listened. They got many shocks and revelations as they found out that Motoi tried to kill B because his father got killed by the Akatsuki. While that was going on, as he told them everything that he knew about B, Hinata and Tenko was still training. As they were trying to make the rubber ball explode like Naruto showed them. As Hinata started to put in the rotation along with the chakra, then there was a pop. Hinata was shocked as she felt a bit woozy as she heard a pop over to the other side. As Tenko jumped to his feet with a happy smile on his face. He looked over. Hinata, "You're right," he said. "Yes, I'm fine," she said. As she smiled softly as she straightened herself up. "You probably used too much chakra. Go find Naruto and tell him how we're doing. You need to take a break. I'm sure he'll be glad to see you." Hinata smashed your back of her head. She winks, as her hands were a bit burned from using so much chakra. "I guess you're right, we're in the final step. I can afford a break now." She reached into her pack and brought out a jar of her improved wound ointment. She applied it to her burns, as she then wrapped her hand in bandages. When it was secure, she grabbed her pack as she activated her Byakugan trying to find Naruto. A tear of blood went down her cheek as she had activated her Byakugan. She jumped off, leaving Tenko there. Hinata found Naruto as he was standing, looking at the crashing water down below. After hearing the story, he was in deep thought. "Everyone used to hate me, and now I'm a hero," he said. As he remembered Gaara past, Gaara had it worse than him, and now he's Kazekage. Now the village had faith in B-san, and the village trusted Gaara enough to make him Kazekage. And now, I'm Hokage. I have Aruka Sensei, and all my other friends. And Hinata-chan, he thought. After years of ostracizing us, Hinata-chan never did that. Aruka Sensei neither. I am your true self, what you really think of in your heart. As Naruto felt his thoughts being conflicted, Naruto-kun, he looked up. "Are you okay?" said Hinata. Hinata-chan, "Oh, I'm fine," he said. How's your training with the Rasengan going? I completed the second step, she said, with a smile. But are you sure that you're alright, Naruto-kun? You can tell me, she said. I met my real self, said Naruto. Hinata blinked. Your real self? I have all this anger and rage inside me. It is what the Kyubi feeds on. I don't know if I can beat him. But you can, Hinata said. As he looked towards her, you never given up before, Naruto-kun. You always stand up and move forward. Even if you have darkness inside of you, you can beat it no matter what. I know you can, she said. He blinked at her words of encouragement, as he felt a warm sensation from her. Thank you, Hinata-chan. They heard a yell as they saw Motoi being grabbed by one of the squid tentacles. Motoi-san, said Naruto. Yamato flashed to hand sign. Wood release. Smothering binding technique. The wood wrapped around several main tentacles and the squid's main body. Hinata saw the tentacles that held onto Motoi. As her Byakugan was activated, blood ran down her cheek. A tetragram, empty blade, she said, as she sliced right through the tentacle as Naruto landed on the wooden beam that Yamato created as he ran on it. But before he could make contact, the squid was grabbed by several dark tentacles. Big AT is back in the sea, here to get rid of the punk-ass squid. And that is Killer B. B smashed his fist right into the thing's face. In full Haxabi form, as Motoi landed on his feet, B said Naruto as he leaped right off the wooden construction as it shattered after B's blow. Hinata deactivated her Byakugan as she felt really dizzy. She held her head for a moment before calming down as she wiped blood away from her eye. B-san, you knew, didn't you? You knew I tried to kill you, said Motoi. There was a tense moment as everyone turned towards them. But B grinned and raised his fist. Say what, you did? Motoi looked at him in shock as a few tears started to fall. B, you... As he then bumped fists to the man, as Naruto grinned happily. After that was over, they were walking back to the waterfall of truth. Hinata no longer felt woozy, as she was smiling, seeing Naruto back to his old self. Thanks for trying to help Motoi, Hokage, Hyuga. B said their grin. Not a problem, B-sama, said Hinata. Same, said Naruto. Naruto has a magnetic personality. Same as B-san, said Motoi. Yes, he does, said Yamato. You should get back to the falls, Nino, and you'll pull it off like a wisdom tooth, said B. As Naruto was happy to hear that he believed in him, they arrived back to the falls. As Dark Naruto stepped out of the water, as he saw that his counterpart returned once again. Ready for round 2, you fake. As Naruto grinned, I've been thinking about what you said. What? It's true. We have a lot of anger and hate, and I have been treated like an outcast. But his mind went on Motoi and B, as he saw despite everything B was willing to share a fist bump with the man. As Naruto poked himself in the chest, it doesn't matter, because I am your #1 Hokage, Naruto Uzumaki. What? That's all you got to say? I have to tell people to stop believing me, and believe in myself, said Naruto. Dark Naruto growled angrily. Stop this bullshit, he says. He ran forward, raising his fist. As Naruto watched him come towards him before he dodged a punch, and wrapped him up in a hug. You're a part of me as much as I'm a part of you, but you don't have to worry anymore. We just have to believe in ourselves. Dark Naruto stood there shocked as the darkness in his eyes started to leak away, as a single tear ran down his cheek. Back in the real world, they saw Naruto sitting there. As they waited, suddenly he got back to his feet, his eyes closed. He then opened them with a smile, as he grinned at them. You did it, said Yamato, as B smirked. That's wonderful, Naruto-kun, said Hinata. It's too early to celebrate, Hokage. You gotta learn how to control the Kyubi's chakra. Starting today, I'm your teacher. As B jumped over to the waterfalls. Now, let's get going. It is okay if I come too, said Yamato. For Shiza, and the Hokage girlfriend as well. Hinata blinked at that. Me too, she said, as he was referring to her as Naruto's girlfriend. She decided to steel herself and did not say anything about that. She did not refuse it. But I have to complete the Rasengan. Your injured hand, Miss Hyuga, needs some rest, or else you're gonna be in a mess. I have to make a report back to Kumo, said Motoi, as he gave Yamato a nod. Thanks then, said Yamato, as he felt like they were being watched. Yamato saw that Motoi sensed it too, as he nodded back. It's not gonna be easy, said Motoi, as he went behind the falls. There was a massive temple behind it. There was a carving of the Hacks to be launched and a Biju from his mouth. What you gotta do is master version 1 before getting to version 2. Then zap, you'll be able to meet the Kyubi bow. Booyah, said B. Naruto blinked. Version 1, version 2? B grinned as he walked. Version 1 is human chakra blended up with Biju. Bubble up and form your cloak. Version 2 is pure Biju chakra, so you won't end up as smoke. Naruto blinked in confusion. As he arrived in the center of the temple, away from the headless statues, on the ceiling was a mural of the Kyubi itself, with all 9 tails pointing towards all corners of the room. Here, you'll fight the version level 1 chakra. Defeating it, make you be able to join it into your body. Like this, said B as he pushed his hand up in the air, as a cloak flooded around him, with 8 tails behind him. Version 1 is very fun. Human and Biju chakra mix, bubble up, and you get enormous power. It's gonna be fun. As Samihata danced on his back, he needed to activate her Byakugan as she saw. From the mark on his shoulder that was iron, the chakra was being poured into his body, and he was able to control it all, and form it into a cloak. The tails then wrapped around his body. The ground shattered, as his cloak turned dark red, with his face being gone and replaced, and it looked like a jack-o'-lantern. Version 2 compressed pure human chakra into Biju form, and new attacks can be born. You can form bones for increased power. That would be useful for the 11th hour. You can form Biju bombs that will send your enemies crying back to their mama. As Naruto blinked in surprise, he remembered the 4-tail and 6-tail form. As he was surprised B could control himself like that and stay conscious. As the cloak vanished as B stood there, stand in the middle of a star and see how far it can go. Channel the Fox chakra and let's see what you know. Naruto nodded as he stepped in the middle of the 9-pointed star. Okay then, he said, as Naruto took a deep breath. Before the chakra started to bubble up around him, it was then pushed right into the ground, as 3 of the stars light up. So that's how much you can control before this. Keep pushing out. Fill up all star points, said B. Naruto yelled as he pushed more and more power out. The 4th, the 5th, the 5th, 6, 7, 8, 9. The chakra then formed into a bubbly form of the fox, right in front of Naruto. Naruto stepped back. What the hell? Beat the avatar of the fox, then you'd box with the fox itself, taking control of version 1. Will make you able to control version 2 when you rip it from the Kyubi. The arm came down towards Naruto as he ran away, moving back as it crashed down to the ground. As they were in the massive circle star, Naruto crossed his fingers as 20 clones poof into existence as they all created Ultra Rasengans. They leap and smash the Rasengans into the giant fox cloak. The cloak responded as it pushed out its arm, knocking 2 of them away. They slammed right at the edge of the star as a barrier came up and the clones poofed away. A barrier, said Hinata. So the falls won't be destroyed. The barrier is equal to the amount of power pushed in the star, so it won't break out, said B. Now beat it down, Naruto. Then we can move on to the Kyubi itself. Meanwhile, time to see how good my stage mode really is, said Naruto, as the clones provide a good enough distraction for him. As Naruto enters stage mode, he leaped. He appeared in front of the fox and crashed his feet right in its face. The thing roared as it was tumbled back. It dropped its massive paw on Naruto, slamming him into the earth. The paw then started to move as Naruto picked himself up, grabbing the thing's finger and yanking it. He flipped the massive avatar before slamming it right on its back. Creating 2 clones, they create Rasen Shuriken as Naruto leaped in the air as they threw it. But the avatar then roared. As the Rasen Shuriken was disrupted, Naruto was sent sailing as he crashed away. As Naruto looked down towards the fox as he stood on top of the ceiling. This thing is really strong, he said. The thing leaped straight towards him as Naruto leaped down as well. He twisted as he dropped his heel right on the thing's skull. It was sent sailing as it smashed back into the earth. As Naruto twisted his body in mid-air, Frog Cutter, Human Missile, as he dropped like a missile. As he slammed right into the thing's stomach, the thing roared out in agony before it started to slash around, its tail coming up and smashed into Naruto as he flipped and landed. As Naruto created 50 clones that leap and grab onto the fox, holding on to its tails as they picked it up and hurled it straight towards Naruto, while 2 of them landed on its mouth and kept its mouth shut. As Naruto had a Rasen Shuriken waiting for it. Take this as he threw it. The Rasen Shuriken collided right into it as the explosion was massive. As it went off into a massive wind spear, ripping apart the body as the thing crashed into the barrier. As it slowly started to fade away, and it was pulled straight inside of Naruto. You did, said B. You showed that thing who's boss. Hinata rushed over. Naruto-kun, are you okay? As Naruto raised a thumbs up, he had a big smile on his face. Time skip. While that was going on, a team was dispatched by Snavi that was being led by Neji Hyuga. They were sent towards the destroyed Uchiha hideout. hoping to find anything that can give the allied Shinobi forces a chance over Akatsuki. As Neji had his beacon activated as he scanned the entire place. With him was Kyo Hyuga, who was also scanning. There was Sana, Yamanaka, and Insui Nara, and Torko Akimichi. Nothing Neji Teiko, Torko yelled, as he threw away a massive piece of rubble. Keep looking. This was one of the Uchiha's prime hideout. During the clan war era, there should be some information on Madara here. Kyo leaped over to another area. He had been assigned to Neji's team due to Hinata, going off with Naruto to the Turtle Island, as his eyes started to penetrate the ground deeply. Neji Teiko, he said, I think I found something. Sana lifted his head up, as he felt a surge of chakra. As he closed his eyes, as he felt a massive surge of chakra, something was wrong. Surrounding the huge skull of the massive snakes, which were identified to be a part of Orochimaru's strongest jutsu. Part of it started to glow. A hand shot out of it. A pale hand. Pale with black tattoos over it. An unidentifiable head came out. It opened its mouth as massive amount of snakes came out, carrying a strange gourd. Neji Teiko, the Yamanaka yelled as Orochimaru's snake form came out. We have to fall back. Orochimaru spotted Kyo. Being closer to Neji as he charged, it isn't a Sharingan but a Byakugan, would be useful. You should have killed me when you had a chance, Itachi. Now I have your most powerful weapon, as Orochimaru carried the gourd. Kyo spun around, as he pulled a Kona as his teammates jumped towards him. To come to his rescue, Orochimaru spun around, as his snake slammed right into the Akimichi, launching him right in towards Neji. Neji was forced to catch his teammate, as Sana and Insui rushed to fend off Orochimaru from Kyo, as Kyo spun doing a rotation to deflect the snakes. As Neji came down from mid-air, 8 tetragrams into palm as he released a burst of chakra. The attack slammed into massive snakes that surrounded Orochimaru's body, but he got Kyo to look at him as he began his living, corpse, resurrection. Kyo found himself in a strange place. What is this? Unknown to him, it was Orochimaru dimension, but a voice then popped up. This is my domain, and you will be my new body. Orochimaru announced, out of nowhere, his voice echoing all over the walls. Kyo glanced down towards the fleshy ground. Do not worry, you will still be part of my consciousness. You will never die, like I won't. Good trade-off, don't you think? Kyo cursed as the flesh started to crawl up his body as Orochimaru advanced towards him. Ah, no curse seal, perfect. You're a main branch member. No wonder why you know the rotation. Damn it, said Kyo as he tried to force the things off of him, but they were just so sticky and clanging onto his body as Orochimaru's strange fleshy tentacles lashed onto his head as Kyo screamed. Now let's see what happened while I was gone. So, Sasuke attempted to get the Hatsubi Jinjulki. Killer Bee, and failed. Awakened the monkey to Sharingan, and fought the Hokage. Oh, Naruto in the 5 Kage Summit. Not only that, Konoha was attacked by Pain, and decimated Tsunade being the last Sannin. Well, not anymore. Naruto defeated Pain, and became the Hokage. Well, that was unexpected. Kyo cried out as Orochimaru started to merge their bodies. He tried to resist, but by now the fleshy growth was all over his neck as it consumed everywhere else. And now the world's preparing for a war against Uchiha Madara. That is all I need, said Orochimaru as he smirked, as Kyo was swallowed completely. In the physical world, Orochimaru's snake body fell to the ground. As Kyo started to chuckle. What the hell did Orochimaru do? Insui asked. As the Byakugan eyes of Kyo opened, in the middle was a slit, and purple markings appeared under his eyes. Neji gasped. That must have been Orochimaru transfer, soul to ink. Kyo Senpai chakra has changed completely. Orochimaru flashed through hand signs, demonic illusion, false memories. A bright light consumed everything around them as Neji was forced to deactivate his Byakugan as Orochimaru erased their short-term memories. He then ignited his old body to cover his tracks as he emerged from the mouth of Kyo, dropping the shiny skin as he stabbed the body right to the chest with the Kusanagi blade. Orochimaru then fled. A few minutes later, Neji and his team regained their vision as they saw Kyo on the ground dead. They remember what happened clearly. A few missing ninjas hired by Madara Uchiha to keep his secret safe attacked them, and Kyo got killed in the attack. They must have found what they were looking for and left while we were distracted by that light attack. We should head back to Konoha and report in, as Neji closed his fellow clansman's eyes. as he lifted his body up as they made their way back to Konoha. Meanwhile, as the group was traveling deeper down in the temple, so is the battle gonna be the same, said Naruto. Like what happened in there with the Kyubi. Actually, fighting the Kyubi, that seems crazy, said Yamato. Well, you have to be crazy if you want to control a Biju, said B. As they arrived towards the statue, only the pure heart can go in. That's a catch. No darkness. That is why I had to train at the fall, said Naruto. Even a bit of evil and door slammed tight, while your head is still stuck inside. Naruto gulped as he rubbed his neck. He remembered his battle with his dark half. He had conquered it, but this was a final test. Despite Yamato suggesting use a clone to test it first, B told him that this was a secret temple. Hinata breathed in, as he watched as Naruto leaned his head in. As Naruto saw a button, he blinked as he tapped the button. I guess I passed, he thought to himself. He was about to pull himself back out when his shirt got lodged on one of the teeth. He pulled himself out as his shirt got caught over his head. As he came out, Naruto-kun! Naruto! Yamato and Hinata started to panic when they saw he didn't have a head anymore. As Naruto pulled his shirt down, the both of them released a sigh of relief. You scared the crap out of us. Yamato yelled as B was laughing as Hinata released a sigh of relief. It was an accident, said Naruto. It was just a button. B grinned. Enough fun, we gotta run. Don't let down your guard or take it to Kyubi's chakra. It's gonna be hard. As they enter the featureless room, as the door creaked shut behind them, Hinata activated her Byakugan and she once again felt a bit woozy, but she pushed through to see. She blinked in confusion. This room was bigger than the entire island, but how was that even possible? Was it a jutsu? As she placed her bandaged hand to her eyes, she brought them down. Why are my eyes bleeding more, she thought to herself. It never did this before, and now she felt so much more lightheaded. She deactivated her Byakugan. She turned her attention towards Naruto and B, who was sitting down, their fists bumped together. Meanwhile, as Naruto was standing in front of the cage, the fox snapped open his red eyes, looking at Naruto with that intense glare. Yo, you're looking as evil as ever, said Naruto. I'm trying to nap your brat. Unless you... He paused. What happened to the real you? You're looking at the real me, said Naruto. As he ripped off the seal, he then placed his hand right on his stomach as he started turning the lock. What are you doing? The fox said. The fox realized he was opening the seal as a grin came on his face. It bursted open and roared as Naruto was thrown back in mid-air. Tentacles appeared and wrapped around the fox though. You gotta pull the chakra away from the whale. Then you can control it all, Akatsuki said. But the fox slashed off the tentacles as he fell to the ground, aligned with the Akatsuki. Do you have no pride as my Jinchuriki? As the fox started to gather chakra. Damn it. The fox locked my chakra out of the box. Naruto, you have to deal with that Biju bomb on your own, said B. As Naruto flicked his wrist, a kunai dropped right into his palm. It was a 3-palm kunai that Kakashi gave him as he held onto it tight. I'll still win, B, he said. Thanks for your help though. As he started to channel chakra into the kunai into his palm. This is my first step to being truly reborn, and you will not stand in my way, the fox roared. Like a cannon, he launched a Biju bomb. As the kunai started to glow as Naruto chakra reacted to it, a barrier, like a rip in space and time, was created in front of Naruto. The Biju bomb slammed right into it, as it was swallowed, before it was sent sailing back towards the fox. The fox was sent sailing away by the explosion as Naruto landed. Whoa, he said. But he had to focus on the fox as he created 3 Rusting Shuriken after entering stage mode. The fox leaped back towards him so quickly as he slammed his palm down. The tails lashed out towards him as Naruto created 9 clones that dropped right in the tails, forcing them back down. The fox flipped his tails, blowing the clones apart as he growled angrily as Naruto threw smoke bombs on the ground. The fox snarled, parlor tricks. He roared and blew away all the smoke. Sage Art, Supermassive Rasengan. As Naruto came down with the Rasengan, the fox used his tails to block it as Naruto kept on pushing it before he made it explode. The explosion blew away the fox, but he got up even more faster, his tail lashing out. As Naruto flipped back, the fox jumped and slammed his paw right on Naruto, catching him right between his paw. I've watched you for 16 years, brat. What makes you think you could control me? Well, I wouldn't have broken the seal if I didn't think I can, said Naruto, as he poofed away. The fox growled as the real Naruto came rushing forward, Rasengan Shuriken in hand, as he threw it right at the fox. The thing exploded and blew away the fox. Two more clones came from mid-air as they dropped rustling shurikens right in its stomach as the ground exploded under the fox. The fox growled angrily as it was in pain. It slowly got back up as Naruto looked at it. Damn it. The fox leaped up in the air as it started to fire a miniature Biju bomb at him, one after another. The fox landed as it looked around. "You can't hide from me," he said as he looked around not seeing Naruto anywhere. Before he was picked up. "I'm not hiding." Blam! As Naruto slammed the fox on his back. Before, a ghostly figure of him came from his own back and grabbed onto the fox's tail and started to pull away the chakra. The fox stomped his paw down trying to get up but lost his footing and fell back down. Yeah, he's weak enough so I can... Naruto felt something invade his system. The hatred of the fox coming onto him. Dark thoughts started to rush through his mind as Naruto dropped to one knee. His sage mode started to fade away. In the real world, Naruto's sage mode started to fade as he noticed that half of his body turned red. "Naruto-kun, don't give up," said Hinata. "You never do. And you never will," she said, as her Byakugan activated by itself. Blood leaked out of her Byakugan activated eyes. She then felt dizzy, but she had to endure. Suddenly the dizziness faded as the blood stopped pouring. Slowly, her eyes started to change. They changed into a black and white yin-yang symbol. Chakra burst around her without her even spinning. Yamato moved back. What the hell? He was about to use his technique to restrain the Kyubi's chakra. As Hinata stepped forward. "You can do this, Naruto-kun. Don't give up," she said. Meanwhile, as Naruto heard Hinata's voice, as he slowly got to his feet. "Give it up. You can't defeat me. You never will. Stop trying to make me give up. That is something you should give up on, because I won't lose." "You're right. It seems like you never do," a voice said with nothing but happiness, as Naruto was confused. Naruto looked up in confusion, as he didn't understand what was going on, as he saw a beautiful woman, red hair with purple eyes. "Who are you?" said Naruto. "Don't you know?" she said that smile. "Could it be?" She giggled. "So you figured it out?" "Yeah. You're the Kyubi in human form." Bomb! She knocked him over the head. "Like, no," she said. "Ouch," said Naruto as he rubbed his head, as she giggled. "Sorry. I get carried away most times. I kind of been hot-tempered since I was born, and I get carried away talking like that. I try not to do it, but sometimes I might bypass my intentions. But what about you? I hope you don't say silly nonsense words like me when you get worked up." She didn't notice his outfit. "Wait, you've become Hokage?" As Naruto blinked. You're... Minato never told you about me, did he?" "Good lord. Yes. I'm your..." She was cut off as she was enveloped in a hug. Tears started to flow from his eyes. "Mom," said Naruto. Meanwhile, in the real world, the swirling vortex around Hinata shut off, but her eyes was the same. It did not revert back to normal. Hinata smiled. "Naruto-kun is not giving up. He's fighting back," she said. Meanwhile, as several golden chains shot from Naruto's back and wrapped around the fox as it slammed him into the ground. "This chakra. Kushina," the fox said, as both Naruto and Kushina were sitting down in a white empty plane. "Minato used my chakra when forming the seal. So when you were ready to take the fox's power, I could be there to help you," she said. "We wanted to help you however we could." As Naruto chuckled. "Aren't you listening?" she said. As Naruto smiled. "You look so pretty," he said. "Well, thank you," she said. "You end up with my face, and you got your father's hair. If I would have had it my way," said Naruto, "I would have liked your red hair. It's really awesome." "Really?" she said. "Of course," said Naruto. "Look how beautiful and shiny it is. Although, one girl loved me the way I am." "Oh, so my little boy has a girlfriend, huh?" she said. "Well, you could kind of say that," he said. "Her name is Hinata Hyuga. I guess I was just too stupid to see it." She giggled. "A Hyuga. Aiming high, oh my son," she said, as she grinned, making him blink. "You know, you're the second person to compliment me on my hair." "Hmm? Who was the first?" "Minato, your father, of course," she said. "There's always been a question I want to ask you, Mom." "Hmm? What's that?" "How did you and father meet?" he asked. She smiled at that. "Well, to start with," she said, "I wasn't originally from Konoha." As she told him the story about how she met Minato and how he saved her from the Kumo ninjas when she fell for him. "Wow," said Naruto. "There's a little something I like to tell a man that compliment my hair, yourself included, my son." "I love you, Naruto-kun," she said, as Naruto felt his whole body warming up. A love that he never felt before, a mother's love. He also remembered Hinata saying that she loved him. So, what happened when the yellow flash of Konoha and the red hot habanero combine? What does it create? As Naruto tugged on his jacket, Konoha, orange Hokage, he said. Meanwhile, as Naruto's eyes snapped towards the fox, as all the hatred was blown away out of the chakra. Damn you, Kushina, Kurama said, as it reached up and ripped the chains off his chest. As Naruto brought his fingers together, nearly 1,000 clones poof into existence. They leaped up in the air as the fox destroyed several of them. But then his eyes went wide when the remaining ones gained giant Rasengans. Rasengan Super Barrage! They brought them down like a storm as they slammed into the fox. As the remaining clones dropped and pulled down the fox as he received everything. Let him have it as they dropped everything right inside his chest. The fox looked up weakly. How on earth did he get so powerful? Now, as I was saying, said Naruto, stop trying to make me give up. As Naruto slammed a rustling shuriken right in his stomach, the fox was thrown as all 9 tails worth of his chakra was separated from him as it flew right into Naruto. As Naruto clones poofed away as all the chakra was pulled inside of him. Instead of red, it became an orange color. As it flickered around him, his seal became visible. It twirled into a whirlpool edge. Above his headband, his 2 hair points had grown no longer. They almost looked like horns. Finally, around his neck was the Megatamas, like what? The stage of 6-pack war. As Naruto breathed through his nose as he clenched his fists, as he looked towards the fox that was getting back up. The fox looked weaker, as he lost a lot of muscle, as Naruto saw bones everywhere on it. You brat, the fox said, as he started to gather a Biju bomb so large it encompassed the ceiling. Naruto placed his hand on the seal as he turned it. The fox was slammed down by several gates as the last one pinned to his neck as the Biju bomb broke apart. As the gate slammed in front of a demon ceiling once again. I won't forget this, Naruto, he said. Don't worry, said Naruto. I won't hurt you anymore. As he blinked and he was with his mother once again. Naruto, you did it, she said happily. As she hugged him, as Naruto smiled, she broke away. I need to tell you something very important. What is it? You need to learn about the truth on the attack 16 years ago. The day you were born. When I was the previous Jinjulki of the Kyubi, she said. Meanwhile, Yamato saw a smile came on Naruto's face. So, did he do it? Well, if he hasn't changed by now, he must have given the fox one hell of a lashing, said Killer Bee. As Hinata smiled, I knew that you could do it, Naruto-kun, she said. Meanwhile, as Naruto squeezed his hand into a tight fist, his mother told him everything that happened on that night. Everything. What his father and everyone did coming together. And what Madara had done. Thanks for telling me, Mom, said Naruto. I know what I have to do now. Kushner wiped her own eye. You don't regret what we did to you, she asked. No, said Naruto, I'm thankful. And I'm thankful that you love me so much. It makes me happy. Both you and Dad, he said. I wish I had more time, she said, a smile on her face. As she came over and pulled him to a hug. But know this. I'll always love you, Naruto-kun. I love you too, Mom, he said. As her body started to fade away. As she clutched him tightly as he did the same for her. As her body bursts. As Naruto watched as her chakra, the last remnants of it smiled at him, he smiled back. The biggest smile on his face as he felt so proud, so happy, so content. As he clenched his fists, at that same moment, 2 purple eyes opened up. It was Madara primary base, near the gate of statue, underground, a cell that did not see daylight. The person in the cell was in remarkably good condition, despite being sealed up inside for over a decade and a half. There were golden chains that extended from her body, that extended through the stone floor and the walls. Her long red hair was unkempt, but it still had a shine to it. This person was Kushina Uzumaki. She was in a bad state, but she was alive. It has been 16 years. That masked bastard is getting complacent, she thought. As she tested out her chain, as she pulled, she heard a creak in the stone above. Her smile increased as she pushed it upwards, breaking it through the rock. She felt a rush of chakra. Naruto. She thought to herself, he's taking control of the Kyubi, and he's got my message. She then squeezed her hand into a tight fist. I have to redouble my effort, she thought to herself. She breathed in and breathed out as she started to channel more chakra. Know that she knew her son was alive and had taken control of the fox. Nothing would stop her. Back on the island, all of a sudden Naruto threw his arms to the air and gave a loud cheer. Yes, he said, with a smile on his face as he landed, as he finally opened his eyes looking towards the group in front of him. As Yamato blinked, so, did you do it, he asked. Naruto gave a thumbs up. I now have control of the Kyubi's chakra, he said. Yo, show me what you did, said B as he offered his fist, as Naruto pressed his own against it. Whoa, that's badass. You made the fox pay that price. You know we cannot see, right? Said Yamato. Right. Well, for starters, I met my mom, said Naruto. You did? But how? Said Hinata. She yelled a bit when Naruto picked her up and spun her around in pure happiness. Dad used some of her chakra in the seal when he made it. It was designed so that she could meet me again and help me against the fox. As Naruto set her back down gently. She was really strong and awesome, said Naruto. The fourth Hokage thinking that far even in his last moments. Amazing, Yamato said. That's not the best part though. I learned what happened that night. Madara attacked Konoha that night, extracting the Kyubi from my mother to be his weapon. And I'm gonna be the one to finally defeat that monster, said Naruto. Hinata placed a hand on his shoulder. What else happened during the attack? As Naruto started to explain the details that Kushina told him. And that's nearly everything, said Naruto, as he breathed out. I see. I'll inform the village on the full truth of that night, said Yamato. But something wasn't adding up. What happened to Kushina's body after that night? It had went missing. Oh, and also, said Naruto. He slammed his hands together, in his mind. It was like a miniature sun as Naruto raised his hand and absorbed the chakra. In the real world, they watched as Naruto's body got flickered. On flames, orange flames flicker all around him, with the Megatama markings and the black line on his stomach swirling outwards. The fiery aura danced around him as he gave a grin. Looks pretty awesome, huh? Yamato watches the Mokiton construct that he created earlier start to grow into trees. Incredible. So full of life energy. It's the exact opposite of what the fox had under his control. Naruto then paused as he narrowed his eyes at B. More specifically, the sword on his back. How long have you been hiding there, said Naruto. It's time for you to get out. The three of them blinked in confusion. Impossible. Samihata and I have the same chakra signatures. Not even the best sensors can sense me. Not even that girl the Byakugan could. How the hell? Kisame said to himself. I can't explain what I feel. A negative presence in your blade, said Naruto. Samihata leaped from Kisame's back, using the hilt as a tail. Kisame burst out of it, placed Nakona at Hinata's throat. I guess I cannot continue my surveillance any longer. He used one of Samihata's skills to press the button. As the door opened up, Hinata focused though. She needed to stand on her own. They couldn't let this Akatsuki member escape. As she activated her Byakugan, the yin-yang symbol appeared in her eyes. All the pores in her body. Kisame's eyes widened as they exploded outwards with chakra. Samihata was also blown away before it could absorb the chakra. It was so sudden and fast. Kisame slammed into the white wall, cracking it, as he coughed up blood. What the hell was that? I thought Hyugas had to sprint to do that move. She then turned towards him. Wait, is that even a Byakugan? Naruto blinked in confusion as he looked at Hinata's eyes. But then he turned towards Kisame. I won't let you leave, he said. As Naruto stepped forward, he felt a surge as he moved. Boom! Kisame was slammed down into the ground. Kisame coughed up blood. What the hell? Yamato blinked in confusion as Naruto was gone. As Naruto pulled his fist out, I couldn't even react. Damn it, I need to get out of here. The odds are too much against me, Kisame thought. He used Samihata spikes like insect legs to pull himself away rather quickly as he leaked a trail of blood from his mouth, running. Naruto drove his fist into the ground, breaking it as he got his foot free. He had overused his speed and he had got his foot stuck. We have to get him before he gets off the island, said Yamato. I can still sense his malice. I'll keep track on that, said Naruto. Hinata's eyes reverted back to their normal Byakugan. I can still see him. He's trying to head for the exit. She extended her range. Guy Sensei, Motoe, Ayuba, and Tenko are outside. Great, sharp man's a bait. They can keep him contained so I can bring out number 8, said B. As Naruto picked up speed, they had to stop him before he get off the island. He knew too much. But guys, B and subs right here. If you want to see next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way over in Anime King 3 and Anime King. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what we fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys very soon. Peace out.